Let's just take a look, shall we, at what that now means for the standings. It's turned out to be a brilliant weekend for Manchester City, with all those around them dropping points. For Spurs, they remain second, 2 points clear of Liverpool. Chelsea move up to the top 10 for the first time, it seems, in a very long time. They are 3 points adrift of Manchester United. Former Chelsea defender Mario Melchiot is with us. We'll hear from Mario in a moment.
Where are we going to start, lads?
Well, that was going to be my question to you, Craig Burley. Where do we start?
Well, I think, first of all, I'd say we didn't... it's my view we learned nothing about Chelsea tonight. They got the 3 points, but we learned nothing about them in terms of how much improvement there's going to be. Because it was a non-contest. Spurs hung in there. Chelsea made hard work of it. But that really took the edge off everything. I suppose... Did Spurs players lose their head? I certainly think, and Postecoglou was asked about after the game, was it the Udogie challenge? What sparked this? I think we saw Romero getting too involved, and we've seen it before from this player. He's had a great season. He obviously won the World Cup 12 months ago. He's had a great season alongside Van de Ven. But we saw with a little kick out, which he should have gone for. Petulant or not, you can't do it, right? And you know, he should have been sent off for that kick out. And then his challenge was just crazy because he can play the ball, he can make that challenge without putting the player in the danger that he put Enzo Fernandez in, because he knew what he was doing. He played that ball, he raked his studs right up, halfway up the shin pad. It was forceful, it was, I think it was vicious, there was intent in there, it was over the top, it met every criteria. When Shaka and I looked at it straight away, we went, that's it. And it, as you said, it got worse every time you looked at it.
Listen, to Craig's point, as much as we were talking about Chelsea having won 4-1, Craig said we haven't learned an awful lot about Chelsea. I disagree. I think this Chelsea is worse than this result suggests. Keep in mind...
Oh, shut, that's harsh.
No, hold on. Against nine-man Spurs were the better team for a long period in that second half, and then ran out of gas. So, nine-man Spurs, again, I have to underline that. They had the goal chalked off, as Craig mentioned. They had the Betancourt opportunity. Son brings a good save out of Sanchez. Nine-man Spurs. Chelsea 4-1, but it says absolutely nothing, or nothing good to me, how in the game Spurs still were. On the other side of that same coin, I thought Spurs were outstanding. Everything about Postecoglou just continues to impress. We'll see how they cope with the injuries now, because those are our key players that are missing. We've spoken about how important Maddison is. We'll see how long he's out for. At least he was able to leave under his own strength. And then to Craig's point, the Romero challenge. I mean, goodness me. I'm not sure you see many worse challenges in the game today. And this as a red card is not new. We've seen this given as a red card. We've argued for it to be a red card time and time again.
Obviously, Romero will be out for 3 matches. Van de Ven looks like he's in trouble as well. James Maddison, Postecoglou, of course, said it was precautionary. But if you take a look at that, we've got their upcoming matches. And we don't have their upcoming matches.
Udogie's going to be out as well. Obviously not as long.
So you think this is the first real speed bump, isn't it, for Spurs? And now it's about how you react to that. Yeah,
and look, I don't think Spurs have the squad to go all the way. So this is a huge learning curve once more, if needed, for Ange Postecoglou to say, OK, what have I got? What have I got outside the 12 or 13 or however it is that I've been using? Who's going to come in and play to the standards of, you know, Van de Ven, Udogie at left back, Maddison if he's out for a bit, you know, Richarlison will have to come in, maybe Brennan Johnson will have to play a different position. Who's going to come in from this squad and fill that void? And he's going to learn very quickly whether these players can come in and play the risky football that he wants to play.
So they're just to take you through it, they're at Wolves, home against Villa, and then at Manchester City.
Yeah, listen, the thing for me with this one and the test that will be for Spurs going forward is not the result. Not that you've hit the speed bump and all of a sudden you've lost, and what do you do now, given how well things have gone this season? How do you cope with that loss? Is the injuries. I'm less concerned about Spurs and their style of play than I am about how do they fill that void, especially with Maddison if he's out long term. That's an unknown quantity about Spurs that we're yet to discover. But truth be told, Spurs are playing with house money at this point. Nobody expected Spurs to be this high in the table, sitting at this point of the season. Nobody expected Spurs to be playing this kind of football.
They just raised the bar, though, Shaq. Expectations are higher now.
Granted,
if they lose the next 3 games, you're like, oh, where's it all gone wrong?
That's what everybody on the outside is saying. For me, if you're part of that dressing room, you're part of what's happening under Postecoglou, even if you lose 2 or 3 of those games, even if all of a sudden you find yourself just outside the top 4 and looking in, I think you are more bought into, you are more convinced about your ability to compete at the highest level with the big boys than you ever thought you would be, and that for me is the bigger takeaway here.
Go on, Mario.
I understand what Chuck is saying, but you also have to remember a new stadium, and you know how the fans they are hungry for success. So the way that the team was building and going to, first in the league, even my mates around me making jokes and cracking jokes, that was because the confidence is rising. While they're up there, I think he Greg made a great point in saying this is his test. This is the test where we're really going to see how intelligent and what kind of smart movements he will make. Because look at what Pochettino did. Halftime, who did he take off? He take Colwell off. Why? Because he had a yellow card. He knew the competition that he had, or the fight spirit what he had going on, was not going to be for this derby game, because he was going to get another yellow card. Then he's got another player out. So I think Postecoglou is going to have to be really smart and picking the right details in who is he going to play, where is he going to put them, and how is he going to adapt to the situation he's in right now. Because he has to move really quickly because he's got a great team, but it's when everybody's available. But let's see now what happens when tomorrow away.
Honestly, Maddison obviously has been terrific. Tottenham have been terrific. It's hard to single sort of one player out, but from an attacking sense, he's a kind of guy that gets the headlines. It's clear that, it seems clear that Van de Ven is the more serious of the injuries, and I actually think he's the bigger problem. And the reason I say that is because the way Spurs play. I think they'll always get some creativity, be it from Brennan Johnson or Heung-min Son or Richarlison or Bentancur back in the side or back available, he's fit again. Maybe not quite the same as Maddison, but they'll get something. I think the problem comes at the back, Dan, because what they do is, clearly we saw it tonight, they play a high line, they push the 2 full-backs in, and that puts a lot of pressure on the 2 centre-backs. I've said that from the very first day of the season when we watched his team play away at Brentford. They went, he needs to have centre-halves that can run, because they have to be the insurance policy if the players lose the ball further up the field for that ball over the top. And Van de Ven has been absolutely brilliant at that. He's one of the quickest defenders around, not just in England but across Europe. So he was part of an insurance policy for them losing that ball. That's somewhat gone. You look at the others that might come in there. Eric Dyer's not quick. And who else is going to come in and play centre-back? If Ben Davies is fit again, can he come in and play left-sided centre-back? So this Van de Ven injury is a big problem for the way Spurs want to play in terms of, defending the counter-attack.
Final point to you on this, Mario. Who finishes higher, Spurs or Chelsea? 11 points separate them at the moment.
No, we have to look at what team is playing better football at the moment, and I have to sad to say Chelsea won, but Spurs is the team that's playing, better football. So let's go from that first. Let's see if Chelsea can play even better than what they did today, because there were some points, some people that I watch Mudryk coming on. I think he still is wrongly placed. He needs to understand to play deeper, so he makes more problem for the defenders instead of asking all the ball in his feet while he's so quick. Little things like that. I think they got to work on details. While Spurs, at the moment, they are a step ahead of Chelsea. So I will always pick them first.
I don't think we've ever been so mean to a team that won 4-1.